We'll use Elementor to show you how to change anything you see on this page. There are 2 ways to open the page builder. The first way is to go to your live website, and as long as you're logged into WordPress, you'll see a bar at the top, and inside that bar you'll see the Edit with Elementor button. The other way is to go to your dashboard, and you can do that by right-clicking on the WordPress logo and opening in a new tab. From the dashboard, you can go to Pages, and then on any page, you can click Edit with Elementor here. For now, I'll close this tab, and I'll close our Starter Templates tab, and I'll select Edit with Elementor right here in the banner. Before we start editing, let's look at how a page is built. Every page is made up of containers, and inside those containers are the elements that make up your content. Things like text, images, and buttons. This structure panel on the right side of the screen will show you how your page is laid out at a high level. If you click on the container, you'll see it highlighted with the magenta outline on the page. And if you open the container like I've done here, you'll reveal the elements inside. You can reorder elements right from the container view by clicking and dragging them, and you can hide them by clicking the visibility icon. I'll drag the button back onto the heading where it was. If you ever want to close the structure panel, press Command-I on Mac or Control-I on Windows to bring it back. Now let's look at how to edit the most common elements on your page, starting with text. To edit text, just click on any text on the page and start typing. I can select the text and enter my own. You can also change it in the left panel directly. When you select any element, you'll see 3 tabs on the left: Content, Style, and Advanced. The Style tab is where you change how it looks. If you open typography here, you can change the font size, you can change the weight, and you have all types of settings down below. If you close this, you can change the text color here. It's currently set to white. And this is where you can access your global colors. So you'll see all the colors that are included in your theme and currently being used. If you ever make a change that you don't like, maybe you try a text color that you don't want to go with, you can always click Ctrl-Z to undo, or you can click this history button to visit a list of your changes. Here you can find whichever one you want to revert to and start from there. Editing images works the same way. Let's scroll down and find an image that we want to edit, click on it, and then over on the left, you can click Choose Image. You can upload your own image here. You can select one from the media library. You can search the free stock images, but in this case, I'll go back to Upload Files and click Select Files to choose my own. I'll select the image that I want to upload, and I'll open it. Once it uploads, I'll click Select. In the Style tab with the image selected, you can resize the image with the width and height. You can round the corners with the border radius down below. I like a more squared off look, so I can set these to 0. And this button ensures that all of your corners have the same radius. And you can add a subtle box shadow here as well. You get full control over how that looks. And if you don't like it, you can set it back to the default here. I'll take a moment and update my other 2 images. Buttons are also easy to change. Simply click the button and change the text in the panel on the left. In the link field, you can click in the field and add a URL, or you can link a page. We have a services page on this template, and we can call this something else later, but that's what I'll link to for now. In the Style tab, you'll have options to change the look of the button. You can change the text color. If you open typography, you have a whole bunch of other options like we saw with earlier text editing. For example, I'll change the weight to something more bold and legible. And if you close typography, you can add a border radius on the button here. Increasing it will round the corners, and decreasing it will square the button off. If you want the button to stand out, you can add a box shadow here. You can change the color, but I like the flatter look without one, so I can reset this to default. And you can also control how the button looks using the padding down below. Padding will control the spacing, and you can make the button thicker, you can match top and bottom, or you could lock these values all together. But I'll unlink these and keep the left and right wider. Buttons also have a hover tab in the Style section. This is how you change how the button looks when someone moves their mouse over it. The effect here is subtle to begin with, but you can customize it however you'd like using all of these settings. You can also customize the background of any container. Click the container handle here, go to the Style tab, and find the Background section. The default background type is Classic. This lets you add a solid color or upload an image. To add a new image, click here just like we've done before. I'll upload a new one, select it, and down below the image selector, you can control its position, whether it scrolls with the page or stays fixed, and how the image fills the container. Changing the position is especially useful if you need to center the image a little bit differently so that you can see your text better. If you scroll down in the settings, you can also find a section for background overlay. Choosing a cover overlay that sits over top of your image is a good way to make your text stand out more from the background. Here you can adjust the opacity, and you can see that the 0.4 that was enabled by default already helped my text stand out nicely. If you don't want to use just a plain image, in the background section there are other styles that you can use, including gradients, a video background, or a slideshow. If you want something unique for your site, it might be worth exploring the video or the slideshow options. But we'll stick with the classic image for now. To add a new element to the page, click the Add Element button up in the top left. If you scroll down, you'll see all the basic widgets: headings, images, text, video, and more. You can drag whatever you want onto the page wherever you want it, and the magenta bar will show you where it will drop. Once you've added the element to your page, you can edit it like you would any other element. For example, I'll change the text color here. To delete any of the elements on your pages, right-click on them, and then click Delete. You can also delete an entire container by hovering over one and then clicking the X in the container handle. And again, if you make a change that you don't like, you can hit Ctrl-Z to undo it, and then this container will show back on your page. Spacing between elements is one of the most important parts of design. There are a few different ways to control spacing in Elementor. The first two are margin and padding. They both control space, but they work slightly differently. Padding is the space inside a container, between the container's edge and the content inside. Margin is the space outside a container, between the container and whatever's next to it. You can find both of these in the Advanced tab of any element. If you want to change either, you'll find them in the Layout tab, and you can change the values to whatever you'd like. You can also control space with a spacer element. I'll click to add an element, I'll scroll down the spacer, and you can drag it wherever you'd like. This is a blank vertical space, and you can resize it using the slider on the left. Spacers are the easiest way to push two elements apart without changing the values of margin or padding. I'll remove this one here for now. And for making changes to entire sections, you can use the minimum height setting in the Layout tab of a container. So I'll click on this container handle, and I'll come over to Layout, and adding to the minimum height would increase the size of this container. If you ever want to build a new section from scratch, you can add a new container by clicking the plus icon between two existing containers. So if I scroll down, hover over this container, the plus will add a container above. Then you can click this plus icon, and you'll be given two layout options: Flexbox and Grid. Flexbox is best for simple row or column layouts, and it adapts well across different screen sizes. Grid is best for more complex two-dimensional layouts, like product grids or photo galleries. For most use cases, Flexbox is the right choice. Once you choose Flexbox, you can further decide your structure. By clicking Add, we can find new widgets and drag them into our new Flexbox. To remove the container, click the X like we've done before. When adding an entirely new section, you don't necessarily have to build it with widgets and elements. You can click plus, and here, click Starter Templates. You'll see some of the pages we saw earlier, but if you choose the Blocks tab, you'll find partially built sections of website pages. If you scroll down, instead of building the Flexbox with two columns, you could find a block that's already pre-built. If you can't import it, click this button to sync the template library. Once the sync finishes and you import the block to your site, you can edit this section like you've done before, swapping out the images, the headings, the text, and changing the buttons. So far, we've been making changes to individual elements, but you can also change the look of your whole website at once. Click the Elementor logo in the top left, then go to Site Settings. This is where your global styles live. Under Global Colors, you can update your site's main color palette. Any element that uses these colors will change automatically if you change them. If you select a new color, make sure to click Save Changes. Under Global Fonts, you can do something similar. I'll discard my color changes and open Global Fonts. Here you can make changes to the different system fonts. If you have a look that you know you want to go for, changing the global system fonts and colors can save you a lot of time compared to changing them on many individual elements. It also keeps your site looking consistent, and there's a few other things that are important to show you as well. Scrolling back up, under this dropdown, you can select the page that you would like to work on. Make sure to save, and you'll be brought to the contact page to edit in the same way that we've edited the home page. Most people will see your site on a phone, so it's important to make sure it looks good there too. At the top of the screen, you can switch between desktop, tablet, and mobile portrait. Many of the templates that you'll choose are designed to work well on all three, but it's worth taking some time to optimize for your mobile site so that it looks good for those mobile viewers. And any changes you make on mobile will only apply to the mobile view. So if we bump this text, this change will apply to mobile view only. Whenever you want to save your work and make your changes visible on your live website, click Publish in the top right. If you haven't signed up for hosting yet, remember to use the first link in the description to get an extra 10% off your hosting with Hostinger. Good luck with your new site, and thanks for watching.